Who should Manchester United sign to challenge for the Premier League and Champions League next season? Now, this season under Erik ten Hag, it has been massive ups, massive downs, and everything in between. Finishing third in the Premier League, winning the League Cup, runners-up in the FA Cup, and knocked out in, I think it was the last eight of the Europa League to Sevilla, which we all know what happened there. Now, as of recording this, the 3rd of July, still no news on the takeover from Sheikh Jassim, who looks to be now pretty much dead set on to get the club from the Glazers, but you know it's the Glazers, anything could happen. So, I've went and picked 5 players that United should sign to be able to then take it from a 3rd place finish to basically proper challenge for the Premier League, get a challenge for the Champions League, and make that next step in the club's history basically. So, the first player I've went with is Andre Onana. As of right now, I'll keep saying, as I'm recording this, the only player that is set to sign is Mason Mount for 55 million plus 5 million in add-ons. But for Onana, I think with De Gea's contract now officially out, it's all about, do they renew it or do they go and spend the money? Reportedly, Ten Hag has got a budget of like 100 million. I think that's basically just because then the Glazers don't want to spend money and then leave the club. Even though it's not going to be their main money anyway. They want to push as was running out of the club into their own back pockets. But Onana roughly will cost about 45 to 50 million euros plus add-ons is what I've seen. Picture looks like United is set to make a bid to reports from Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein say. He's 27 years old. He's already played with Erik ten Hag at Ajax. He already knows the style of play, wants to pretty much play everything the way that Erik's want to play this season. Compared to David De Gea, it has been a real struggle. You've seen at the start of the season against Brighton and Brentford, at home and away, that United tried to play the style that Ten Hag wants, and it wasn't possible. You've seen that switches play at Liverpool, at home to Liverpool, where it was pretty much just the goalie that won it. Don't try and play it from the back, don't try and be fancy, old school, to the wingers basically, or to the fullbacks, straight into the channels, no fucking around. This season, Onana did get the most clean sheets in the competition for Inter Milan in the Champions League. Couldn't unfortunately stop it and another one in the Champions League final, but it probably should have, but it was definitely a good game. The style that Onana is, he would pretty much be that next step from David De Gea. Other ones you could go for, Diogo Costa, I've seen from Bijou, from Feyenoord. Yeah, it's just different players. Dean Henderson might get a chance now being back from his own for Nottingham Forest. He did get injured basically the last half of the season, so I need to see how that really went, but if you're going to make that next step up, I'm saying it's got to be Onana. Realistically, if it's a 100 million budget, you've got Mason Mount and Onana, you're done. You can't just have Mount and Onana basically if you're going to try and challenge for the Premier League. You have them both, a striker, a winger, a central defender. But that's who I went with for the first player that United should sign. The second player I've went with is Kim Min-jae. Now this is very unrealistic by the looks of things. But 2 weeks ago, it looked very realistic. It looked like United pretty much were going to sign him. Looks like the personal terms are agreed. Everything, it was just wait till the clauses come into activation, activate it. The clause was at roughly 50 to 60 million euros. It would have been a long term replacement for Varane, with the pairs between him and Lissandro for easily the next 5, 6, 7 years, as probably a centre-back pair that Ten Hag would want. But looks like it's pretty much all agreed now for him to go to Bayern Munich. He's supposed to be going back to South Korea to do his, I think it's like a couple of weeks of military service, just basic training. the exact same as what Heung-min Son did a number of years ago, but it pretty much looks now, instead of coming to Manchester, he's gone to Bayern. Which, unless you could somehow go and straight away be like, here's a release clause, here's more wages than Bayern, come to us. It's got to pretty much be, he'll go to Bayern Munich, partner up with Matthias de Ligt, formerly of Ajax and under Ten Hag himself, but if you could go and sign Min-jae, be a proper centre-back. Not watched a lot of him this season, obviously. I've watched probably a handful of Serie A Napoli games I should say. I've watched him probably 3 or 4 times in the Champions League, and maybe once or twice, I think it was, in the domestic cup. I think it's the Coppa Italia. It is, I'm not exactly sure. But he pretty much seems like the type of centre-back, ball playing, aggressive, pretty much he's a mix between Lissandro and Varane. Or probably just maybe better putting it, he's just a taller Lissandro Martinez. That would pretty much wipe out any doubts in the defence. Because realistically, the both fullbacks will look Shaw and Dalot. You're probably more than fine for the next 2, 3, 4 seasons, well probably 2 or 3 seasons before they'd have to get upgraded on to make the next push. Central mid, I know United are based about to say Mason Mount, but I think for a long-term replacement for Casemiro, it's going to be Moises Caicedo. At the age of 21, talks to what it would cost is about 80 to 100 million pound, plus potential add-ons. He looks like a proper player, even at the age of 21. Numerous games I watched for Brighton this season, against us, against anyone else basically. If a Premier game's on, I'll watch it. Watched plenty of Brighton this season. It is going to be expensive. Now, if you're going to sign Mason Mount this season, unless you basically get Sheikh Jassim and the Qatar bid in and sealed basically within the next week or 2, probably not going to be too much. Even if Qatar take over at the start of August, it's going to then be, you're probably going to have to then just go for it. You're not going to then be able to just fuck around. It's got to be as soon as Qatar's in, it's who do you want, go get him. Here's money, go get him. And Caicedo I think would be a good choice. You'd have him, Mount and Bruno probably in the midfield as long term, because then obviously Eriksen steps out eventually, Casemiro steps out eventually, with Bruno on the 10, Mount is kind of like a floating number 8 probably, and then Caicedo probably as that older midfielder, but could also play further forward. Would cost obviously, as I says, about 80 to 100 million, plus then whatever it costs as a signing bonus, agent fees, wages. Could be talking anywhere between 100 to 120, 130 million. Which United were in talks with supposedly to sign him back when he was in Venezuela or Ecuador. Back when he was in South America anyway. Back I think it was 3 years ago before Brighton, where the costs were roughly about 6 million to what I've seen. Now, the last 2 players, the first one I've went with a winger. I think when you look at it last season, with Rashford on the left, Antony on the right, and if you had Weghorst, shit, Martial, can he keep fit? You'd move Rashford up top, then you'd have Sancho Garnacho on the wing. I think realistically, you need to sign another winger. As soon as Antony steps out this team, you see that defence be a little bit more shaky. Because Antony does do the defensive work compared to Garnacho and Sancho to what I see. I think Dalot looks a lot more comfortable and Wan-Bissaka looks more comfortable when Antony's playing. I've went with Kessie of Juventus. I think looking at the price of what Transfer Market says, to what I've seen bids wise, could probably talk to maybe 40, 45 million, plus maybe a 5-10 million in add-ons. I think he has came off the back of, I think, back-to-back ACL injuries, which is extremely unfortunate for the kid. But I think with him being direct, he's quick, got a trick in him or two, he would add a probably a different dimension compared to Sancho on the left-hand side, or even Antony. He's not like Antony would just get the ball down, do about 600 step overs, and try to like flicks and tricks. He's ball down, play. It's like what Sancho is, but he's more on the front foot. Sancho doesn't have that confidence about him now, as he did at Dortmund to ball down, knock it and go. I think Chiesa definitely has that. Is it realistic? Right now, probably not, because I think Ten Hag would be happy enough to keep your wingers based as Rashford, Antony, Garnacho, Sancho, and then Pellistri. I think then Rashford moves up top. You got 4 wingers. I think he'd be more than comfortable. But I think this is a make or break season for Sancho. I think if you're gonna get a replacement, I think Chiesa probably would be the nailed on signing. Unless you go and spunk a lot of money on somebody else like a Diaby from Leverkusen. You wouldn't get Vinicius Junior from Real Madrid, that'd be too much money. You'd have to go and bargain around if it's the Glazers in charge for next season, which, knowing what the scumbags are about, probably would be. The last signing of the 5 is going to be a striker. I could have went with Victor Osimhen, Lautaro Martinez, could have went with anyone, but I think it's obvious, Harry Kane. I think with the style it suits the Ten Hag, for a striker that you've seen Weghorst come in from Besiktas, well, at Besiktas, but obviously from Burnley. I think pretty much Harry Kane, he's just the style of play, can drop in and link up, go and be that traditional number 9, he get you 20-25 goals in the league, yet alone, probably 40 overall in the overall comp. He'd probably get 10 to 15 assists overall in all competitions. I think this style of striker Ten Hag wants, Harry Kane suits it the best. Is it realistic? Fuck no. It probably costs you 120 million plus for Daniel Levy to sell, but then would Levy sell even with a year left? Well, reports are saying he still wouldn't even accept 100 million even with a year left. Even when Harry Kane could tell Levy, go fuck yourself, I'm leaving. And on the 1st of January, sign a pre-contract with Manchester United. He could do that. Will it happen? It's all down to Harry Kane. If he wants to win trophies, go to Real Madrid, go to Bayern Munich. You can't get Man City now, they've got Haaland. Unless Haaland leaves this summer, which it won't happen. Basically, Harry Kane's not going to City ever again. Well, not ever again, but they'll never get the chance to go again to City unless Haaland leaves next season when Harry Kane's a free agent. I think if Harry Kane wants to just get the goals, break Alan Shearer's record, stay at Tottenham and just don't win a single trophy. I don't think Postecoglou wins a trophy for Spurs next season unless Daniel Levy goes and says, here's £200 million after signing James Maddison and that Italian goalkeeper from Empoli. I don't know his name, it's like Vicario or something it is. But I think Harry Kane, basically, you want to get Alan Shearer's record, you either stay at Tottenham, move to Manchester United. You want to win trophies, Manchester United, Bayern, or Real Madrid. Real Madrid, you'd probably would guarantee you to win the Champions League. Bayern Munich, you'd guarantee the league title every year because you'd probably go to Germany and score 40 goals. He probably wouldn't be far off breaking Lewandowski's league record of what, I think it was 43 league goals in a single season. He probably would crack 50 for Bayern every season for the next 4 or 5 years. But I think if United are to basically say, we're here for the league, you go sign Harry Kane. Or if you want, you go sign Osimhen or Lautaro Martinez. But any of those strikers are probably going to cost you £100 million plus. Not even including wages, sign-on fee, agent fees, bonuses. Any striker could cost you about £150 million plus this summer. Which, if it's the Glazers, as I keep saying, you won't. That'd be the only signing you'd get. Unless Sheikh Jassim takes over very soon. But, I think with that, that's the end of the video. Ultimately, I think those are the 5 players that United should sign. Onana, Kim Min-jae, Saucedo, Chiesa and Harry Kane. Let me know in the comments below if you made it this far. Let me know how realistic it is for any of these signings. I think Onana out of 10 is about an 8 out of 10. Kim Min-jae, about 2 weeks ago I would have said pretty much about an 8 out of 10 now, 2 out of 10. Saucedo's about a 5 out of 10. That's going to be more point next season. I think Ten Hag would be, unless you sell Fred, McTominay, you get rid of a couple more players. I don't really think Saucedo's this season, but I think next season probably would be a more of a signing you'd push for. Chiesa, probably a 3 or 4 out of 10. I don't think Ten Hag would want a winger right now. I think he'd obviously want that goalkeeper set in stone, striker set in stone, and more of a central defender. Why is my phone... Right, as I was saying, my phone just went off there. Chiesa, probably not. I think Ten Hag would more than be happy enough to just run with the 4 wingers and Sancho Garnacho, rhymes, Pellistri and Antony, and then Rashford can drop onto the wings or play up front striker. I think he'd be more than happy enough to wait. Chiesa, maybe not. He might maybe want somebody that's not had ACL injuries and maybe a bit younger. Maybe somebody that would suit the system, I don't know. I think that would be their best choice now, especially for the price. Then Harry Kane, you need a striker. You need somebody that can come in, fucking bing bang bosh, basically, guarantees you pretty much to add what he done for Spurs last season, not just in the league but in all competitions. And then, yeah, I think that pretty much would be what United would need. Long term, you probably would then replace Luke Shaw. I think Dalot probably could last another 3 years, but I think he would be moved. I think you'd have to replace the both fullbacks. But I think realistically, if you added Saucedo in next season, I think you'd be set. I think that would be the team of, say, Onana, say Kim Min-jae, Martinez, 2 new fullbacks, Saucedo, Mount, Bruno, Antony, Rashford and Kane. I think if you had to get that between this summer and next summer, or you replace Kim Min-jae with somebody else because he looks like he's going Bayern, that would be a team where even if you just have Luke Shaw and Dalot for start of next season, I think that pretty much looks to be a nailed on team that should be well within contention of not just the Premier League but to win the Champions League. But with that, that is the end of the video. If you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and with that, I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.